flight here. We're just going to do a short instructional video on how to mode convert a transmitter. We're going from mode 1 to mode 2. So we'll be using a DX8, but this procedure can be applied to the DX18 and also the DX7S. To start with, the tools that are required, Phillips head and either tweezers or a hemostat. So they're the only tools that are required to do this. And we also have a patch of just some soft foam which we can put the transmitter face down, and that stops it from being rocky to work on and protect the front of the transmitter. Okay, we're looking at the back of the DX8. All we will require to take this apart is a Phillips head screwdriver. So I'll show you how that's done. Firstly, we'll take the two rubber side grips off, and they're just double-sided taped on, so just remove them and try and keep the double-sided tape clean. That'll allow you to put them back on after. After that, on the side of the transmitter you'll see the rubber grips. These here need to be peeled back about halfway to release the back of the transmitter. So for this we'll just use a small flat blade screwdriver and very gently get underneath the side of that to lift that up and peel that back. Again, they're held on with double-sided tape. And you do this for both sides. There are 6 screws. You've got 2 at the bottom, 2 in the middle behind the hand grips, and then 2 at the very top, so we'll take them out. Easy as that, and that will allow you to open the transmitter up. And then you'll see directly underneath it there's a plug, so that plug can be disconnected from the back of the transmitter, and you can put that off to the side. Okay, looking inside the back of the DX8, this will be a similar procedure to the DX7S and also the DX18. They use very similar gimbals. So firstly we'll look at the top of the transmitter. You'll see 2 screws at the top of the momentary switches at the top here. We need to remove them, keeping in mind that the screws are different sizes, so just remember that and put them off to one side. So we'll remove them. Those switch boards can just be moved out the way ever so slightly. This is to relieve or to open up access to a screw that holds the gimbal cage on at the back. So once that screw's open, we can take the 4 screws out that hold the gimbal cage on. And the gimbal cage will have wires going through it, so we just take that off very gently and then push that off to the side. So we need to get into the bottom of there. And we'll do the same for the other side. And the reason we're taking these gimbal cages off, on a DX8, 18 and a 7, the throttle stick always has throttle limiters, which are these 2 little plastic bars down at the very bottom of the gimbal here. You can see there's 1 screw holding them in, and they limit the stick travel of the throttle stick, so we need to bring them from this side and move them onto the other side, or whatever mode that you're changing to. So we'll take them out. It's good to have tweezers here because they're very difficult to remove. And all these are is a little plate with a wedge on one side, and they're designed as a throttle limiter. So again, from one side to the other, we'll put it into the opposite side of the transmitter. Just tighten the screw up on the bottom of here. That's the bottom. Screw in that side there. We'll screw that one in as well. And that's the limiters, so that's limiting the throttle travel on this gimbal. We can put the cages both back on. And we'll put all the screws back in the cages. Once all the screws are back in the cages, we can put the two switch assemblies back over the covers, again making sure that the right screw goes into the right hole. Just relocate them. So the longer screw goes at the bottom. Okay, so once that's done, now we can look at these two metal strips here, and these essentially adjust your tension for whether it be the throttle or the elevator. So as we've had before, we've put now the throttle's going to be this side of the transmitter. So we want to wind the one with the little bump down, and then there's a screw at the very side here, which we want to take out. So that disables the return to center, and this plate will essentially give it a ratcheting feel or a smooth I suppose ratchet for the throttle stick. So we're taking this screw here, we'll loosen that all the way off. Again, replacing the back of the transmitter, so just make sure these hand grips are out of the way. First thing that we'll do is we'll plug the link back in, so observing the polarity, there's two pins that locate that. Plug that back in. Transmitter goes back together, and again 6 screws, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 at the top, 6. And again, refitting the side grips or the rubber grips, I just use a screwdriver to locate the pins as they were before. And again, these are just held in with double-sided tape, so you just fit the edges back into the groove, press that down firmly. And the same for the other side. Push that down firmly. And now the rear grips. Again, just double-sided taped on, so make sure all the locating holes line up, and they simply just press in. Easy as that. So that's the mechanical side. We'll show you the electronic side. And here I'll show you the electronics component of the mode conversion. So we'll hold the scroller down, transmitter on, and we'll just wait. And then scroll all the way down to System Settings, click on System Settings, and then we want to go through down to the mode. So we go to mode, now we've gone from mode 1 to mode 2. Highlight that, scroll to mode 2, enter, down into the corner to next, click next, down into the corner to next. We're not changing any other settings here, so next, again next, and we want to calibrate this. So it'll give you the cycle, center, and then also the dial at the top of the transmitter. So we'll move all the sticks around and put them back into the center. And the dial at the top of the transmitter, turn that until everything says OK. Scroll across to save, and then it's doing that, so we'll throttle down. And then there we go, mode 1 to mode 2. So there you go guys, easy as that. If you have any further questions, please feel free to ask.